Okay, hello. My name is Mori or Moriwakes. Originally born and raised in Hawaii, the white version Hawaii, and but currently living in the Seattle area. I am currently known for Valorant. I play a lot of Valorant on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/Moriwakes. I guess for me, it's not really like a professional player, but it's more just like we're here to have fun. We're here to entertain. We're here to make people smile and have a good time.
Decent. Okay, good start. So, how about like what was Mori like playing games as a kid? Like, what games did you potentially start playing? Like,
I
what's like
never played games as a kid.
never?
Mm-mm.
So, how did you get into like playing Valorant? What started or how old
Valorant,
were you when you started
uh,
playing?
I college.
Oh,
That's where I actually started playing my first video game. Until then, I hadn't played anything, and oh yeah, let's just say it was a rough start. I started off with League,
holy,
probably one of the worst games to get into first. But hey, you know what? When it's the worst, you can only go up from there, right?
exactly.
Uh,
Just for the record, most of the
I
people when I stream League, so there will be people
yeah.
come like, oh yeah, League, yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
total
great.
stress
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
up.
I would say it was a great start, The first month I absolutely hated League. I didn't understand it. I was very confused. And then after that month I was addicted and now I'm a gamer for life.
For
Let's
life,
go.
nice. So,
I would say oh sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just waiting to say. So, who's responsible for like starting you on like League of Legends? So you like just saw
Yeah.
someone chatting about it, and you were like, I want to. I hate my life. I want to join that.
No, no, no. It was more or less I had a ex-boyfriend who was just like, "This is my life. If you want to be my girlfriend, you must play this game." I was like, "Okay, I'll try it. Whatever. Sure. I'll go for it." Interesting. And then yeah, that's how I got started on video games.
See, that's it. The girl gamer is so rare. It's like you have to find a normie and then turn her into a gamer. Absolutely.
Basically.
So that's it. You're a converted gamer, yeah.
Converted gamer, yes.
Okay. So League of Legends was your first. What games did you pick up
Mhm.
after that?
Okay, so then I went from League, I think, to Overwatch. Overwatch was my
Mm.
first FPS game. I was terrible at it. I was the player who would stare at the sky and spin around in circles, not knowing where to go. Because where's the enemy? Where's the teammates? I don't know. I'm looking at a roof. I don't understand. Like I would have to be set up in front of like the bots entrance or where they would exit
Hmm.
to either spawn so that I could just even try practice hitting people. Like I was bad. Let's just say that. But then
What
we
characters did you
learned.
play when you played Overwatch?
Sorry, what was that?
What characters did you play when you
Oh,
were?
okay. So when I first started, I played Mercy
Hmm.
because I had no idea how to aim. I had no idea anything. By the end of it, I was playing Anna, and I love Anna. And they got into like what is it, the role queue thing, and so
Hmm.
it was very difficult to play like
Okay.
any DPS or anything. Like it was either tank, like I love Zarya, Diva. I would play the occasional Orisa Reinhardt and whatnot,
Okay.
but yeah, for the most part, it was Anna, probably Zenyatta, a
See, I
little
know
bit
most of them
Mercy.
from HOTS because, like, when they came across, like, I played a little bit of Overwatch when it came out,
Yeah.
but I was the noob that would sit in the corner as Bastion and just try and, like, mow people down as they ran past, and I'd be like, yeah, like that, you know.
Oh yeah,
And the other guy is Soldier. I don't know what his number is. Is it like
Soldier
76?
76.
76,
Yep.
is it? Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was like the closest to like playing like Halo or something. It was like you shoot
Oh
and you
yeah.
heal and that's it. You run away and hide. That was it. So yeah, FPS is not my strong suit. But yeah, like Anna, like I played her quite a bit on HOTS. She was like the auto
Mm-hmm.
attack like heal, right? Did she like shoot to heal or
Yes.
something?
She would, shoot heal. She could shoot anti heals, so
Mm.
to hurt enemies, and she would sleep people and nade them.
Oh yeah, has her sleep dart. That's right.
Um,
Yeah.
And then her ultimate was just basically a boost, and it changed over time. There were some points where it gave you a massive amount of HP, and then also like resistance, and then also a buff, and then they kind of like nerfed it, and then they like raised it, and then nerfed it, and then they don't know what to
Hmm.
do. Meta shifts. They wanted meta shifts. That's all.
That's it. That sounds like Blizzard. Yeah. So after Overwatch, where'd you go from that?
So I've played like a variety of FPS games. Like I tried Fortnite, I tried Apex. I still kind of like Apex now. I went back to it, but but I've done like PUBG, like basically all the FPS that like came like newly released. Essentially, I tried them all.
Yeah.
But then I like my origin, League of Legends, right? They were making Valorant, and I was like, okay, you know what? My favorite game, Overwatch, combined with my favorite like organization to make games, right? I was like, what could go wrong? Let's try it. And I kind of tried to balance between Overwatch and Valorant for a long time, but I just couldn't maintain both because they're such different play styles. One is complete run, gun, spam abilities, and then one is like stop, shoot, the occasional run and gun.
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like Valorant, like again, I've played like most of them. A lot of my mates are FPS players, so I'll do the few weeks as when they come out, the hype around it. But Valorant is very much like CS, but obviously maybe a little bit more forgiving. But like the games where like you just like peek your knee around the corner, and it's like boom, oh, I'm dead. That's like, whereas like if I can get shot, run and heal and come back, that's more my game.
I feel that.
Make too many mistakes. So yeah, but
it's not as forgiving.
Definitely not. But now, like, I'll still watch quite a few people play it because it's impressive to see people play it at like high level, I think.
Yes, for sure.
So when you're playing it, are you playing it quite competitively, or are you just like group of mates just having fun?
A little bit of both. Okay. I only play competitive for the most part, unless it's not available. But I also play for fun because I think that if you're playing a game just to not have fun, like what's the point of playing the game, right? So might as well enjoy it. And if you win, awesome. If you lose, it's okay. We'll get them next time. No big deal, right?
That's
what I try to go for.
Aggressive gamer attitude I've ever heard. Like you ask anyone else I've had on here, it's like, are you competitive? Yeah, I'm really competitive. And if I lose, you'll see me rage. It's like
I am very competitive though. Don't get me wrong.
You are really competitive
in sports been forever, but I've been learning to like let go, and it's okay. And then because Valorant is probably, I think, the most tilting game I've ever played.
Valorant is? Okay.
Yeah,
you played League, and you think that's okay?
I think it's more tilting than League because it's like such a frustrating game when you get shot in the back and you don't even know why or how they got through. In League, I could get it. I didn't ward. It was my fault. I just didn't see. I didn't understand. Like it was usually it's me or like it could be a teammate, but for the most part, like you should know, you have awareness. But sometimes it's like, where? Aren't you watching that angle? What do you?
So when you played League, where did you play it? Did you have like champions you were like, committed to?
I played a lot of Ardent supports and also AD carry. I like AD carry too. Well, it wasn't I liked AD carry. It was my friend wanted to play aggressive supports, so he's just like farm in the back, just farm. And you don't get any kills, but just farm.
Just wait till the 40-minute mark, then you'll start getting kills. Yeah. Great.
Essentially.
It's quite a high pressure role to pick up if you're new to League of Legends. But just play the carry, you'll be fine. And then
Yep.
That's mad.
Yep. It was I think, I don't know what season, but it was when I was first starting, and it was like I was playing MF and they would play Annie and they would just
you played MF?
Ignite Flash. They would Ignite Flash ults and have a blast, and I'd just be like ult. Pew,
that's a great MF ult, actually. Just that's quality. So when you're playing, do you ever like watch the pro scenes of like Valorant or like any other FPS?
Yeah, I actually, what, surprisingly, the first, I think, I don't know if it's the first, but like the first CS tournament for sure that I've watched was the one where Cloud9 won.
Okay.
And I was super hyped because I heard that they NA's never won. And so it was getting really it was sketchy. Like I like mid game, I was like, oh no, they've lost. It's over. And then I started playing whatever game I was playing. And then I come back to it and I'm like, hold on, the game's still going. Wait, what's going on? And then they came back and they clutched it up. And that got me really into the hype of FPS. Like I was really excited. I did used to watch Overwatch League matches before as well, and now I currently watch a lot of the Valorant pros. But
Okay.
unfortunately, they always stream it early in the morning, and I'm not really an early riser.
This is where you need to switch it up and become an adult and get up at a decent time.
For real though, it's a bit of struggle. Like I've had to watch VODs of people watching the game in order to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a new thing. Like watching people that are like, especially streamers, like mostly League and StarCraft's the main two that I watch. But it's like I'll watch people watching it and like trying to explain that to people that aren't gamers and be like, because they go like, it's weird enough to say to somebody like, I'm watching this guy, he's a pro at this game. But then to say like I'm watching a guy watching it, they're like, no, this is just ridiculous. Like, you know, I'm like, this guy makes a living off of people watching him watch a game. So yeah,
watching him watch. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, try to explain that to normies is it's ridiculous.
That's when you just bring it back to sports. You know, everything. Yeah. So actually, I went to college for sports management.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, I kind of can relate the two, and that's how you get the connection there. It's like you watch football and you watch people cast that football, right? Same thing.
That was it. Like I used to. Is there other sports you watch? I used to be really into. Well, I say football, but it's like soccer. So like it was like
soccer?
Stuff like that. Yeah, and not quite like into it as much anymore. But again, like my mates are still super into it, and I'll just explain it as like, you know, there's a stadium full of people watching this. It's the same as like, you know, and I'll even go like, that's the Ronaldo of football, to try and like, you know, he's really good at this game, you know. And it's
oh, for sure.
But they do the like, why don't you do that? I'm like, why don't I do that? Because, you know, they just think that anyone that plays a game, I'm like, it's like pointing at some kid in the park and go, why isn't he a professional football player? Like, you know, like it's the same thing.
Why aren't you just better? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, you should be. So what about like the current state of Valorant? Do you think it's in quite a good space, or do you think like what would you change about it?
Well, I think I can't really like relate necessarily, because I feel like the Valorant team themselves are working very hard, so I can't really say. Like, I know that they've had a few bugs and whatnot, and so it's difficult, but it would be nice if we had more maps, if we had more agents. I mean, I know it's going to come out with time, but I think overall, like, the game's in a good place where it's a little bit like people are starting to understand it. It's the skill level is getting higher. I think the main concern for me is the amount of Smurfs. The amount of Smurfs that, yeah, because you can keep making as many accounts as you want, right? And it's kind of frustrating because I think I play against a Smurf maybe every other game, and it's kind of like gatekeeping in a way, right? Like you can't really promote unless you, I guess, learn how to beat the top guys already. You know, you gotta just get good and be better.
Just gotta be the best ever. That's it. Yeah, it's like League's quite good for like they'll push you into like Smurf queue, but like
so
I don't know how good
that
is.
Right? Because League, you have to level up to level 30, I think, right? Before you can play ranked. Like you only have to play. You only have to win a certain amount of games, right, before you can play ranked.
Okay.
Yeah, play ranked.
Yeah, I've never been brave enough to venture into ranked in Valorant. It's just been casual, but I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's it. See, I feel like you just with me, it was especially back when Smurfs were like League didn't handle them. I would just always be like, oh, he must be smurfing. Like if I got beat, it's just like Smurfing has to be smurfing. So
smurfing.
That's what it is.
Watch back the VOD later.
You're just getting worse. You're just blaming people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
For sure.
I mean, like, so for example, I'm quite a bad FPS player. Like, which one would you like at the games you played? What would you sort of recommend for me to like? I mean, Apex is one that looks quite appealing, but it looks so fast paced that I don't know if my boomer brain could actually like keep up with it.
That makes sense. That does make sense. I think Apex is actually a great game to get into. I think, well, it depends on how you learn, because I feel like there are different styles to learning a game. There's like people who actually need to play the game. There's people who can watch somebody do something and do the same similar motions based off that visual understanding. And then there's some people who need to like hear stuff, right? Because it's like audio, video, and then like actually doing it, right? I think I'm one of those people where if I see it happen, I can replicate.
Yep.
So I've been watching a lot of Asu recently, and I've been like, all right, like he has a whole like movement guide. He has just like a certain way that he like moves around like a building and a style to like how he shoots, right? And I've been trying to replicate that, and I actually increased how well I did just based off of watching purely him. But I actually got really good at Overwatch by doing a similar thing, but I would watch a lot of VOD reviews of multiple different people and see like I think the hardest thing is like understanding what you did wrong, like what you really did wrong. Like there are some niche things that it's like, wow, okay, I didn't think about it like that, or it could expand your mind. I think also you have to be able to adapt to situations. So I think what I'm saying is I think Apex is a great game to start. It is fast paced, but I think as long as you're I would say queue with some people who are your friends. Have them show you around, you know, and then work your way up. I would say Valorant is probably one of the most frustrating games to start off with because
I can imagine.
Although it's slow paced, there's so much technique to it that it's not. I think Apex is more forgiving with technique because you can move and shoot and you're pretty accurate. So that I like those types of games. I think Overwatch is a great game as well, but no offense to it, it's kind of dying. So.
Really? Yeah, see, like I feel like Apex, you can at least like run away, hide and heal almost. It's like that looks like a little bit more leeway, but yeah, I think I'll have to find new folk to play with if I actually pick up something like that. My mates most of them are much better. No, in fact, all of them are better at FPSs than I am. So it would be I would join their party, consistently get them killed, and yeah, it wouldn't go down well. So
no, that's when you'd be like, all right. Where are we going? I'm going in first. I'm going to do because like here's the thing. I also do this when I'm with people who are better than me is I will go in last and I'll be lost because they'll be like, why don't you understand? I don't get it. Why aren't you there? Put me in first and they can trade. They can have a good time, right? And they aren't questioning what I'm doing because it's like, all right, I'm here. I'm available and I'm going in. And then you get the experience because I hate lagging behind the most because I feel like I'm not getting that experience in that like gunplay. So I played a lot of solos because I was like, I need this experience. I need to hold my own.
It's weird that like I don't think I've actually had anyone on the show that's actually picked up games like so late. I feel like most like they always talk about having like siblings that got them into games like really young, and most people that now I feel like pick up games, they're picking up games like Fortnite and like stuff like that, you know, which again they have probably their own complete set demographic and stuff, but yeah, no, it's definitely interesting to say stuff like that. But so what about like, is there any other games you play apart from like FPSs?
I mean, like I played Teamfight Tactics because again, Riot. So I was.
God, you're proper Riot fangirl, aren't you?
a little bit of a Riot fangirl. I don't know, like when you start off with something and you enjoy it, I feel like you normally stick to that because that's like your comfort zone, and like Riot's been that comfort zone for me. And like, although I've enjoyed other things, like when Apex was solely on Origin. I crashed like all the time and it was frustrating to play, like getting dodged out of every other game. And then like with Blizzard, I was upset because Overwatch 2 didn't come out for like what 2-3 years.
Yeah, that
you know
was
what I mean? When they promised they would bring it out, like just don't promise me anything and I'm chilling. But once you like, you know, you promise something, I want it delivered. I think that's a reasonable offer.
Yeah, I think like complaining about Blizzard could be like an entire podcast on its own because like there's so many games they've like disappointed on, but like now it's just like back in the day if they released something they would have like a deadline, and even if they missed it, like they said like it's going to take another 4 months, the game would then come out, but it would just blow you away. You'd be like, this is amazing. But like with Warcraft and a few other games, like they came out and it was like, this is so bad. I was just like just such a letdown. But
yeah,
you're definitely festive there. Just noticed you got like your cobweb mic and your Christmas mug. You're well geared for the festive.
Oh yes. It looks even better at nighttime because it's all highlighted. And I put on more lights, but the sun kind of blocks it out. So I just ignore that right now.
The sun ruining the gamer den. Jeez.
The gamer den. Yes, the demon hours. Woo!
So have you got a special like stream or anything for Halloween?
Yeah, so actually at the end of the month, so I'm actually going back home to Hawaii for a little bit.
Okay.
And then when I come back, I have some things planned. Like I want to do a pumpkin carving stream
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I want to do something Valorant related, so I'm hoping to like draw something on there. I don't think I might be as in detailed as like, an agent. That seems a little difficult. But who knows? We'll figure it out. And then I have a lot of costumes. I recently yesterday did a stream where I was choosing costumes with chat. I'm not going to do all of them because they're not all going to arrive on time.
Hmm.
But I like to do this thing. So the college I used to go to, we had this thing called Halloween, which is just
Oh,
like a
that's cool.
week of Halloween themed, like there was parties. But here it's gonna be like, like dressing up and activities and fun. And that's kind of like what I'm planning for the week
For
leading
the
up
whole week. Okay.
to. Well,
So are
kind
you doing
of.
like different
I get
costume every
back a
day?
little bit later. Huh?
Sorry, you doing a different costume every day, or
Potentially, yes. That's
you
what
do
I
have a
like
lot of
to do.
costumes?
I've accumulated some over
Mm,
the years, but I also plan to get a few new ones, so I'm excited.
nice. Yeah, mine just came yesterday for a Halloween party I've got at the end of the month. And
Oh,
have
nice.
you seen Squid Games? So
Yes.
I honestly think that so many people are gonna dress up it, but it's like the bad red guys.
Yeah.
Like so, it's just
Uh-huh.
like that with a little like triangle mask.
Oh,
So
wait, that's brilliant. Why
so
didn't I think
I,
of
I think
that?
I
Why am
think
I
they'll
such a noob?
yeah, it's literally just a red tracksuit, but
Oh,
the hardest thing was
see.
getting a gun because I was like, I want to get like a little
Oh,
MP5.
yeah.
So it's like a house party then going in town, but I don't think I'll really get away with just carrying a,
Uh,
so
yeah.
so, but that's all right. It's I do like the dressing up part for Halloween, like it's great. But when I was a kid, it wasn't really a massive thing. Like here, I think in the
Yeah,
States, it's like a much bigger thing. But see, as an
it's
adult,
super big.
man, everyone
Yeah.
wants to get drunk and dress up as an adult here, man. So it's like a bigger thing when you're like over 18 here. So
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, I definitely as a kid dressed up, but actually the area I lived in Hawaii like didn't have many kids. So I was probably
huh.
one of the only kids. Like I had to drive somewhere to go where kids were so that I could trick
You
or
could trick or
treat and
treat.
stuff.
Oh man.
Because everywhere around where I lived, it was basically like older people, and although they're festive, they're not like there's nobody outside having a good time.
They're not going trick or
Basically,
treating, are they? No.
yeah, they weren't doing that, so I was just like, okay.
No, that's cool. I think I've only done one Halloween stream, and it was I just played Dead by Daylight, and I remember wearing
Hmm.
like had like one of those Power Ranger costumes, but it was like an all-in-one onesie, and I just was like, so like if I
Uh,
ever needed to go to the bathroom, I had to unzip everything. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. That's too much work. So I
that
haven't done
reminds
it
me,
since.
I have to add to my list a spooky game.
A
I
spooky game.
do. Yeah, I do at least one for Halloween. I'm not good at those, man. I get terrified
Oh
really
really?
quickly.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight's like that for
Uh,
me. Like still, there's some of the
uh,
what's the one that freaks me out is the I think she's a nurse and she's got like her head hangs
mhm.
like this and she just screams and jumps at you. That's like the one that freaks me out because it's just like instantly jumps to your face and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
But
I saw someone play it at one point and I had to stop watching because I was like, I saw somebody get hung and I was like, nope, that's not it. Nope,
so
nope,
wait, you're getting
can't watch this.
scared. You're like getting scared Inception. You're watching someone play and getting scared.
I'm watching
Nice.
someone play and I'm getting scared. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
So what horror games you planning? Or is this you like now thinking about it?
Um, I mean, I played Phasmophobia last year.
That's
I
worse
might play it
than
again.
that's more scary than Dead by Daylight, no? I thought Phasmophobia was like terrifying.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but I don't know. It was more fun because I had good people to play it
Okay,
with,
yeah.
so I was more paying attention to them than anything. And although I did get scared, I died really early, so I got over it real quick because I was like, okay, I died. That's the worst that could happen in this game. Okay, awesome.
That's it.
It was a terrifying way to die because you just like the whole screen freezes, and I was like, oh, but after I died, I was like, I'm fine. This is
That's
fine.
it.
That's it.
Phasmophobia was good to watch because again, it was like streamers' reactions. They would sort of go, huh, and like get proper scared. One of my friends actually, I don't know, it was sort of trending up for a while. He made it as a joke through lockdown. It's like a little mobile game. It's called like, is it Baby in Yellow or something? It's called. It's like a little so it's on the Play Store anyway. And he made it through lockdown as a joke, and I think it got like 4 million downloads, and it was like trending on like TikTok and stuff. But it's about like you basically take this little baby and you've got to look after it. But then when you put him down on like the changing table, or when you put him down to like feed him, he switches the lights off and he runs away, and you've got to go and find him. And oh my god, it's just so creepy. He's just sitting playing it. So that's a good little freaky one. But something about horror and babies, it's like, nah, they don't mix.
Yeah, no, I definitely nope.
So like scary films, nothing, none of those, no.
I'm not a huge fan. No. If I have to watch a scary film, what I have to do is I have to laugh through all of it, because if I'm not laughing, I'm getting terrified.
Do you not look absolutely mentally insane just sitting in the cinema and everyone's like, oh my god, it's terrifying, and you're just like
maybe, but like that's what gets me through. You gotta just be like, that's funny, like they're walking creepy and I'm like, haha, they look so dumb. Try not to get scared.
Oh, that's funny. So what about outside of streaming? What things do you sort of do when you're not like streaming or hardcore playing games?
Yeah, so actually recently I started cooking a lot and been learning that. I've been trying to work on healthy eating, trying, the keyword trying. Like everything that I cook is healthy eating, but everything else that I don't cook, like, okay, so I used to work a full-time job and stream, so I never had time to cook. I never had time to do anything. So I just like order food.
All time.
And like, when you order out a lot, like it's not always the best for you and it's not great, but I don't know, I got used to it, and so now I'm trying to shift that and change into actually learning how to cook and whatnot.
So you're a pro now, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a pro, but I've learned some new tricks.
Okay. No, I did have a look at the YouTube channel, and I did see you. It was like a pizza one. I did see like a pizza.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Maybe it didn't look too healthy, but it was.
That one was. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I guess it's healthier than a pizza.
It's probably better than buying like a Domino's or something. Yeah.
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 Like it's a little bit less of the dough and a little bit more of the tomatoes and whatnot.
So we can definitely see more cooking streams in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do some more cooking streams. I just need, to figure out how to set up out there, and also like got to make sure I clean everything. Cooking takes a lot of dishes,
Basically, you need someone to come and do the dishes for you. Yeah.
It's fine. It's just like sometimes, if you get lazy once, it's over.
You just need to turn that into like a channel point redemption. Like once there's like 1 million channel points, just come do my dishes. It's it.
True.
That's quality. So like you just sort of hinted on healthy there. Like I was saying earlier, my stream sort of got like a fitness element to it, and like when we're streaming, we'll just give away like fitness advice and stuff like that. So like eating wise and like exercise, like how do you sort of stay fit?
Okay. So originally how I stayed fit was I didn't eat very much, and that was my tactic because I also didn't work out at all. So I basically ate like one meal a day before, and I would just have coffee as my supplement meals. Okay. And that was pretty much how like I stayed fit before. But now I've started more recently like working out again and lifting. And
that's cool.
Well, my goal today is to try to go on a run.
Okay. That's cool.
Goals. Yep.
So when you go to the gym, do you have like set plans, or do you just do you go with someone, or what do you do?
Yeah. So I sometimes have set plans and sometimes don't. So I go with my boyfriend and his friend, and we go to either one or two gyms, one that's close by here and then one that's like a little bit farther. Depends on the equipment that we need. But They have set workouts where they do every single day, like workout sort of things, right? Sometimes I join in, sometimes I don't. And sometimes I have my own set workouts, but it's usually like if they're going super heavy arms, I'm okay. I'll do light arms, I don't need to look like raw, like I'm the Hulk, like I don't need that. So I instead like work on other things. I have a specific glute workout that I've been doing, which I'm really excited. Like I love it. It's a great workout. That's the only one that I've been sticking to mainly. I have like, there's leg day, and then sometimes I do a little bit of arms, a little bit of chest, a little bit of elements of what they do, but I try not to go like super ham.
Yeah.
And then, and then there are other days where I just show up and I'm like, all right, what's available? Because sometimes at the gym, it's just there's not enough space or time to do exactly what you want. So you kind of just got to see what's open and work with that. So there are days where,
yeah, that's funny because like even you just saying like what you sort of work out, like one of the most common things is when I'm training women is that like it's the complete opposite to men. Is men want to just do their whole upper body, they're just like just want to do chest, want to do arms, and then it's like leg day and you're like, oh man, didn't I just do it? I was like, that was last week. And then it's like women, it's the complete opposite. It's like, is it leg and glutes today? Yeah. I'm like, you did it yesterday. Like do so. Like some women just think they're gonna slip and fall on a weight and they're just gonna become like Mr. Olympia. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You can do your whole body. So
no, I feel that. I definitely work out the arms. It's just there are some days where they're like doing multiple arm days in a row, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. I don't need to be that buff. Like, slim fit, okay. Like I don't want to.
Just the odd jog, pizza in between, you're fine.
Exactly.
So when you're eating, do you like meal prep, or do you actually just? Can you sort of eat what you want because you go to the gym enough? What's your sort of like eating regimen like?
I don't really have an eating regimen necessarily. I would say I don't really go to the gym enough to eat whatever I want. But I kind of just base day by day. Like if I'm starving, I'll eat a lot of food. I say a lot of food, but then I take like a few bites and I'm like, all right, I'm good, but
a lot for you.
Yeah, a lot for me. Sometimes it's like I think I've developed this when I was a kid. I eat a lot, but at a little pace in a way. Like you eat a lot throughout the day, but it ends up not being that much because it's throughout the entire day.
Okay.
Or I'll just not eat. Like I just have days of like fasting and days of eating. I don't know. It's kind of just depends on my mood and how much I've exercised and
it just depends. Yeah, you just take it as it comes. That's cool. Yeah. So like if you're jogging out there, Seattle, like I don't know, what's the weather like out there? Can you like jog all year round, or is it like?
I mean, you could go indoors and jog.
Sorry, you can just treadmill. Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, you can treadmill. No, sometimes I do. Sometimes I go outside. I think it depends on the weather. It depends on how many people are around. Like, if there's a lot of people outside walking their dogs, I'm more inclined to go inside. But if it's kind of like a chilly day where it's a little breezy, not too like wind chilled, but like a little breezy, like I like to go for a jog.
It's gotta be the right temperature. Just it's too cold, I'm going back to my bed. I get it. Yep. So like talking about like health as well, like I think it's even now I still feel like I've got to bring it up, even though I'm sort of fed up of the word. But like, how's like COVID and stuff affected you, like through like the whole pandemic itself?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely put me indoors more. I used to be, I think, much more outgoing and like be more willing to go outside in a way, right? Like I would just be more energetic to do things and be more excited. I would say I've gotten more of like the stay-at-home syndrome where I'm just like, do you want to leave the house? No. Yeah. I'm fine. I got what I need here. I'm chilling. So it's definitely reserved me in terms of my wanting to do other things. But overall, it's not been the worst. It it got me more into streaming, and so that was really exciting for me, and it allowed me to kind of quit my job in a way.
That's
I don't
cool.
know. I'm always very committed to things. Like when I do something, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit. And then
That's good.
COVID happened, and I was like, hey, I could actually switch what I do. And then yeah,
That's cool. So it's giving you the opportunity to kind of get into streaming more, yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. It's weird because I feel like, don't get me wrong, to begin with, I thought it was amazing because like the government were obviously paying you to stay at home here and stuff like that. So I was like, well, this is amazing. I can just sit and play games. I've been prepping for this my entire life. I'm a gamer. and then it was like after like a few months of it, I was like, yeah, I kind of miss outside. And then it was just, that's how it just sort of went the other way. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of gaming friends that sort of came back that like, they sort of like stopped playing games and they're like, oh hey man, haven't seen you in a few months. I'm like, this is amazing. All my gaming mates are coming back online.
For sure. I think when it first started, it made me a little happier because there were a lot more people online and there were a lot more people available to hang out and play. And then towards the end, when people started like working and stuff again and had no time, it got a little bit more sad because I was like, no,
where's my friends going? Yeah.
No, don't work anymore.
I forgot actually. I just reminded myself because I took a little note because I knew I'd forget this. But I was looking at some of the other stuff you've done. You also sing as well, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how'd you get into that? You always done that?
Yeah, I think I've always sung. I used to like sing a lot in my shower, you know. I did a lot of theater.
That's cool.
Yeah, my high school actually was called the School of the Arts. So I did theater, dancing, acting, singing. We had a variety. We did pottery. Like we did lots of arts. Lots of.
That's like a posh school, man. Jeez.
It was pretty cool. We also were of technology as well. So we had computers and we were taking photography lessons. There was how to build website workshops and whatnot. And
that's cool.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff there and I learned a lot. But I think I started singing mainly because I did a lot of theater and I started when I was like 2.
You were 2? Okay. So you should be a pro.
maybe 5. Actually no, 2 was definitely like the like mini graduation like that. I think I did have a video.
Yeah.
where they sing. That's where it started. And then, I think by like 4 or 5 I was doing actual plays.
So do you ever sing on stream?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh, do you actually? Okay.
For subs, I have specific songs, and then I haven't done it recently, but I used to start every stream with the song. People want me to do like streaming, like a full like singing session, and I've done it before, but it just drains my voice. I'm just like, like 2 hours, and I'm done. I'm like, I can't do no more, guys. I can't speak. It don't work.
I can imagine it's loads. There was a guy I used to watch, the league player called NerdShredz. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he used to play guitar and sing, and I used to love watching him play in between. But now he doesn't do it because he would do it for hours and it would just ruin his voice. And I was just like, oh man, that's sad. It's like people are just like, do it again, singing their song like he's a little jukebox or something, you know? It's like, oh, he ruined it. So well, I'll have to sub just so I can hear it then, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like great and bad because like I do it for subs, so like when it's a good sub day I'm like singing and my voice is dying, but then it's like, oh man, why am I regretting getting subs? Don't regret it, exciting, you should be excited. And I'm like, sing again.
So do you write your own music, or do you is it just like you've taken songs from somewhere, or?
Usually I just take songs from other places. I do like write my own music, but I've never shared it with other people because I don't know. I'm not at a point where I necessarily like everything that I write, or I don't know. It's just like one little phrase or something, and it's not like a full song. I'm not very good at composition in a way.
Okay.
I'm dyslexic. Things don't always come out right too.
But it's like a bit more personal.
I'll read the chat wrong. Oh my god, I can't even read my own lyrics. Like it's.
Talk about reading chat wrong. It's names, man. They get me wrong. The amount of people that are just like, oh, Big Davey 69. That's fine. But when you get ones that you just can't pronounce, I'm just like, oh my god, hate it.
No,
And then
I just say, sorry, I'll try.
all the mispronounces are always clipped as well. And you look back and you're like, oh my God, like, don't miss a beat, honestly.
It's okay. It happens to us, though. Happens. Can't get them all. Mm-mm.
So what about the future for you? What are you planning to do? Do you want to stream more? Are you wanting to like go into different games? What are you wanting to do?
That's a good question. I think that I do want to stream more in a way, but I also kind of don't. Like, I enjoy streaming, but I enjoy the thought of it and like what I can do. I feel personally limited though, because I feel like my room is a little small and I like to stand up, and I don't know, I'm weird. I instead of sitting down all day, I like to like stand up and move around and do stuff. But then every time I've tried with my camera, I either see my head or I see my body. Like, it's no in between. Like,
Right,
I just
okay.
can't figure out the right range to like get there. And so it's like it becomes difficult then, because it's like if I want to try to do something other than just sitting here and playing video games,
It's difficult.
I
Yeah,
gotta decide. Yep, I gotta decide.
I get it. So is that so? You're basically just wanting to. You don't know if you want to take streaming further, or
Oh, I do. I want to continue streaming. I'm just not sure exactly what I would want to do in terms of moving forward with streaming. I do like Valorant. I'm going to continue with Valorant at the current time. I might implement some other games as I'm going, depending on what's coming out. Like, currently, I've been actually getting a little bit into Apex, and that's been really exciting and fun. But also, I want to do like some just chatting streams where we just build things or do something fun. It's just the problem is like sometimes I just don't know what to do, or I don't know where to get it, and that just takes time. You gotta plan it out and think of a process or how to do it. Like, I see people, I watch people on streams and I watch them do it, and I'm like, I don't have that space. You have the nice whole flat ground. I have my bed. Like, yeah, like I'm like, how am I supposed to turn around? Like, people have multiple cameras too, and I'm like, I can't even angle anything here.
Yeah,
like that. Like,
definitely have to invest like a decent amount into like a good setup for things like that. But sorry, I'll see you in a few weeks just carving pumpkins in your bed, so it's fine. Yeah.
True.
That's it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm gonna carve pumpkins, and I'm gonna be like, all right, where's all this? Where's the seeds going? where are they going?
But I think that's it. You just need to start with like small ideas like that, and then that's how it makes those just chatting streams and things. As long as you're not just buying a hot tub and just sitting there, man, that's good.
Oh so. no. Maybe like IRL streaming, I don't mind that, but yeah, I don't think I would just buy a hot tub. That just sounds like I feel like. How do they not prune? Like, I just feel like I'll prune pretty easily. This is something
I sort of asked. Like, again, I don't really care about the fat or whatever. Like, it's fine, do you want? But there was quite a few of my mates when you were chatting about it. I was like, they're in that water for literally like 12 hours. Like that, you must go all pruny and tangerine. Like, how? I don't understand how that works. But I mean,
I could never.
I mean, I'd probably do it for like the money they get.
Fake.
CGI yes. It. Just get like a little shark coming past and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so like normally to finish off, we do like a quick fire question round. So normally, like, I'll tell people I'm doing the podcast, and I'll ask them if there's any questions and stuff like that they want to ask.
Okay.
So if you're up for it, I'll just ask them. Is that cool?
Okay.
Cool. Sweet. First one. What TV shows are you watching just now?
Well, I recently just finished Squid Games. I stopped watching TV because it was not motivating me to do social media. So I tried to put a pause on that at the moment. So I'm currently not really watching anything.
No.
It's not. It is not.
So what do you think of Squid Games?
I didn't like it, but I like understanding the memes that everybody's putting out there. I would say that. I didn't really like it, not because, or mainly because there was like so much like death.
There's gore?
It's gore. Yeah. It's almost like a scary movie a little bit.
It's like a scary movie.
It's like a scary movie. I'm like, who's gonna die next? Like, I kind of feel like it was a good show, but it was also just like, I kind of understood what was going to happen at the start, I think. And then, it was a little bit expected based on, like, the initial.
You knew
how
it was.
they
See,
brought it up.
maybe I'm just an idiot, but I thought I was watching it, being like, I don't know what's happening here. This is great, and then just enjoying the gore. So you're just sitting there the whole time going, I know what's happening. God, I'll figure it out. All right.
I watch a lot. I watched a lot of TV shows, lots of movies. So I think I've learned plot. I've learned theme.
Nice, you got it. So what about?
But I did.
Sorry, what was
sorry.
that?
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say I actually really loved the implementation of the children games, though. That for me was the best part. I love the things that came out of that show, like the doll who's like,
she's absolutely terrifying. Yep.
Bam! Like that one, like. Oh my god, dolls like that freak me out. But I did like the song, and I like the way that they implemented that.
Did you guys have a game like that when you were kids? We had it, but it was called What's the Time, Mr. Wolf, and it was a wolf, and
really?
basically you say what's the time, and instead of like red light, green light, he would turn around, and you'd have to like run or walk when his back was turned. But it was like, I think there was a tweet it came out saying like if you were to play Squid Games in your country, like what games would you play? And I was like, that's brilliant, because there's so many like kids games that I was like, imagine that was for your life. Like imagine playing these games for like, that was good. That's the thing here.
Oh my god, I feel like the most terrifying would be the okay, so because I was in Hawaii, we played more like pool games.
Okay.
Where it's like sharks and minnows.
Okay. Describe it. How'd you play that?
Sharks and minnows is basically like, it depends on how many people are there, but like you have like 1 to 3 sharks maybe, and then you have like 10 to 15 kids on one side of the pool, and they have to swim to the other side before the sharks catch
them. Okay.
And then I think depending on where, but I think if you caught them, they turned into a shark, and now they were catching other people. But there's also other games where it was like, I'm trying to remember. It was kind of similar to the Squid Games game, but it was in the pool. So essentially, like, it wasn't exactly like you couldn't move, but it was like we got a head start, and then the person on top. So like we start in the pool. I don't remember the actual game though. I think it had to do with colors or something. But if they guessed your color, I think you had to start swimming, but you could swim silently. Like you could go underneath and swim. And if they turned around and they saw you, they could chase you. And if they caught you, you lost. Basically.
Oh, okay.
And if you made it to the other side, you won. But like they start on land and you start underneath, right?
Yeah.
Like in the pool. So like you have a disadvantage. They can dive in and chase after you.
Yeah.
So like you had to be super silent. But it was like a guessing.
So imagine that. Imagine you lose that game and just.
Yeah, that would be
savage.
Terrifying.
So what other TV shows, like favorite TV shows and stuff you watched? You said you watched a lot. What else do you watch?
Oh God, I'm very bad at pulling things out of the top of my head. I would say I watch a lot of anime, so
okay, that's cool.
Like Tokyo Revengers and things.
That's cool.
I do love those. I'm trying to think of like TV shows that I've watched in a while, and I'm not, other than Squid Games, I'm not pulling them out of my head right now.
Now, like I only started watching. I feel like I was really late to anime because like I've only started watching it like the past like 4 years. So like I started with things like I always watched like Dragon Ball Z and stuff as a kid, but like
of course,
like Death Note, I watched that like only like 4 years ago, and I loved it. And I was like, I need to watch more of these. And
that was a good one.
Yeah, it's ace. I was like, it's one of my favorites actually. Then I just started watching Seven Deadly Sins. Sorry, so like
I love Seven Deadly Sins.
So I'm on like the newest one, but I'm weird. I don't like watching stuff dubbed. I need to. I like subtitles.
Same.
Yeah,
no, that's not weird. That is not weird. What's weird is those people who like dubbed. I'm like, you're weird. I mean, maybe if you're Japanese, I guess, because in similar to how like the dubbed version sounds to us, right, when it's in English. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm going to be the next Hokage. You know what I mean? It sounds a little silly. Yeah, I do that on my stream a lot, actually. we impersonate Naruto, because wait, can be the next Hokage. You better believe it. You know, it sounds a little silly. I think Naruto is probably one of those where it's like I can listen to in dubbed. There's a few, but for the most part, it sounds silly. But same thing in Japanese, actually. It sounds a little silly to hear that in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit exaggerated, right? Or it's like slow, and they don't ever say like all of those things that they say in anime. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind
like
of,
shortened.
you could
Yeah.
tell who learned Japanese
And who didn't? Yeah.
and who learned from anime.
Well, it was even like Squid Games. I think I started watching it with like
Mhm.
I watched it undubbed to begin with, and I was just like this. I hate when they go like, let's go over here, and then the voice goes, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh. So I just prefer like just Korean, and then I can just read it. It's just so much
Oh,
better.
I
I
love
think.
Korean too.
Yeah.
I started learning. I watched
Oh,
when
really?
I watched K dramas. Like I started learning. Yeah, I can't pronounce it very well, but like I understand. I had a
Oh,
Korean
really?
roommate too, and she would test me.
To teach you stuff.
They'd
That's
be
cool.
like, she'd be like, "Do you know what this means?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like this." And she's like, "What?
That's
You
ace.
know?" I'm like, "Bro, it's easier to learn than English. Come on." Like,
I really wish I'd actually stuck with like language at school. They taught us like German.
Mhm.
I know like very little, but it was it's that TV show Narcos. You ever seen that before? Or heard
oh
of it?
yeah,
So-
I've watched like half of it.
Like it's like convinced me I'm gonna learn Spanish someday. Like one day I'm going to. But
Oh
like
yeah.
they did the guy who played Pablo Escobar. He did this thing online where he taught you
Mhm.
stuff in Spanish, but he'd only teach you bad words.
Oh.
So like it was absolutely hilarious. So like I still remember he'd be like "come mierda" means like eat
Mhm.
shit. Or what was the other one? Like "Io de puta" means like you son of a
Mhm.
bitch. That's it. That's all
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got. So like all
There
I
you
know is
go.
that they bad
There you
stuff.
go.
So basically fluent. So yeah. Okay, so I'll jump on to the next question. What's your most embarrassing streaming moment?
I would say a lot of them have to do with me full camming and forgetting to switch screens, you know, and then I'm super into the game. Like I don't just get into a game, I get into a game. You could tell when I'm dodging a flash. Like you could tell
Okay.
when I'm moving,
Movement
okay?
it,
Like
yeah.
I strafe with my movement, I dodge flashes IRL. Like it just I don't know. I've definitely had a few where it's just oh, it's just silly, man. I'm just so silly. Ah.
I'm sure they're all clipped anyway. So.
Oh yeah, the greatest clips.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Oops, sorry. Well, if PE could be a subject, yes, but if not, math.
What, PE was PE not a subject at your school?
I mean, it was, but I don't know if people
Just a
consider
skive?
that like
Just-
subject. You
yeah,
know,
okay.
it was a fun class.
Okay.
Not necessarily for everybody, but you know, for some.
PE, God.
Not all the gamers. No, the gamers didn't enjoy it.
Nah. What's your favorite fast food?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
I have
yes.
I have a slight bias because I, worked there at one point
Oh,
in
did
my
you?
life.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In college, I worked there.
See, McDonald's is definitely mine. I way too much of it. I normally do like 6 days of like healthy eating, and then one I just eat like a truck, and I'll eat everything.
There you go.
But I remember McDonald's. They did this thing online where you can like, I'm sure it's worldwide, but you can like type in what you've had, and it tells you like how much calories it is. And it just absolutely horrified me. I was like, yeah, it's like 2 days
yeah.
worth of food, man. So yeah.
Yeah, so I actually had a coworker before, not at McDonald's, but like at a different place. But like they were telling us about how much like sodium was in food, and we were talking about McDonald's. He's like, in every bun, there's 300 milligrams, or I don't know how much, but like of sodium, which is
Yeah.
basically like a lot. And I was like, oh, so now when I eat my sandwiches, I kind of like take a little bit of the bun. And
Do you
I
actually?
like? I like to, just a little bit. I'm like,
Just
it's
to-
a little less sodium.
You're like that person that goes and has like the super Big Macs, like a Diet Coke, please. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, like, come on, just have a fucking full fat Coke. So that's you. So what is your McDonald's order when you have them?
Okay. I would say typically it would be 2 McChickens.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay, so I'm kind of weird. I let them put on everything, like the toppings, but I just wipe it off because they put way too much mayo. Every time I said light mayo before, they squeeze it on and it's the same amount. Like, I know, I worked there. Like, it was hard because they only have like this certain way to do it. And I'm like, just leave it. It's fine. And I just wipe off everything on top and then I put it back on so that it's like, it has the slight flavor, but it's not too bad for me.
Yeah.
And then I would say at least a fry and then sometimes a drink. Usually coffee.
You should know all the secrets. You should know like what's fresh, what's like the best, no?
Well, it depends on each actually
Just what you have
area.
them. Oh, okay.
So like different McDonald's actually have different owners and different like franchises,
yeah.
and things that they have to like uphold in a way, right? And
Mhm.
also I worked at a college town. It was awful
Oh, really?
because it was all, well, I mean, it was college people
Just
making
didn't care.
food. Like, they didn't care, dude. Half the people were high, man. Like,
So-
they couldn't even take the order. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the people eating it, the people serving it, all high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you have no idea how many times people came to the drive-thru and couldn't really make it.
That's amazing. So can you tell us the
But it
top
was fun.
secret of like, why no ice cream machine ever works? It's got to be like some kind of hidden reason for that, right?
It's not that it doesn't work. It's sometimes, okay, there's a few reasons.
Okay. Yeah, this is groundbreaking. I feel like no one knows this. It's like,
Well,
this is the scoop.
one, sometimes it's actually broken. Two,
Okay.
sometimes they're just not serving anymore that night. Like, they've used the
They just cut it
certain
off.
amount for the day and then you cut it
Right.
off. You say it's not working. That's basically your standard
Mm.
go-to. And then I would say like the third is if they're refilling the product, but they're just
Right.
saying it's not working
Just
so
stop.
that you leave and move on.
Ridiculous. Yeah, because I remember I saw like it was a good meme online. It was like one opened up in Japan. It was like the third or second biggest in the world, and it was like the most liked comment was like, "I bet the ice cream machine's still not working." It's like, yeah.
True.
Brilliant. Okay, if you could be pro any game, what game would it be?
Ooh, if I could be a pro. Like,
Or-
I could get good at any game?
Just you could click your fingers and you're like on the pro scene.
Ooh. Dude,
Not to say that you won't be pro. I don't know your gaming abilities next few
It's okay.
years.
I know myself.
Don't
I'm not
burst
gonna be
that
pro.
bubble.
I started a little too late. I started a little too late. The Zoomer reaction ain't there. It's okay. I
Okay.
accept that. But I think right now probably Valorant. But I think if you asked me like a few years ago, it definitely would have been Overwatch because I was pretty good
Into
at
it.
that game
Mhm.
and I was pretty into it. Yeah. But I think right now Valorant. I think League is still big, but I think CS would be a fun game too because CS looks like crazy. Like, people do some nutty things, you know?
Honestly, like CS and like CS and StarCraft are two games that I think, but I just see people in like the top tier and like they're not even the most paid games. I'm just like, your
Yeah.
brain is just in another level that my brain will
It's
never.
massive!
Oh man, it just
Oh
like
my god.
I like watching you and try to realize, like, figure out what you just did. I can watch it back 10 times and I'm like, what? What did you just do? It's mental.
What?
What?
What's going on? Yeah.
Makes me feel clever. It's good. Okay, here's a good one. What's your favorite streamer? Not yourself, obviously.
Yeah. I assumed you weren't talking about me now.
If you'd actually just gone, yeah, I'm my favorite streamer. I'm great.
Okay. Currently, I think my favorite streamer would have to be. This is hard. I have a few top,
Okay.
but I think the top probably.
Do you watch quite a lot of
Sean
streamers?
Garris.
Oh, who was that? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you watch a
Sean
lot?
Garris.
Okay.
I like both Sean Garris, Sean BM.
Okay.
They're both cool guys.
Mhm.
That's for like Valorant because, well, one, timing is a lot for me. A lot of the EU, Aussie, everybody else streams when I sleep or when I stream. Because that's when they're awake.
All the
but
best streamers. Yeah.
yeah.
God.
So I don't really get to see a lot of them, but I get to see a lot of NA and like people streaming really into the late hours of their night,
Yeah.
right? So I would say definitely Sean because right now I'm really into the Valorant scene and I'm focusing on learning and expanding my knowledge. And he's a great resource. Plus, he's like really cool and just a nice person in general. And that's something I also look for within a streamer. Like, I don't like ragers, you know, the one who's like, why? It's like, okay. Like, I like Tyler 1. That's like the only rager that I like.
I was going to say, he's like the top of rage. Like, I don't like ragers, but Tyler 1's okay. Like the worst.
He's the worst. He's the worst best rager.
Oh, yeah.
The worst best. Like, he has the quality rage, all right?
Yep.
Like, people, you could just see the frustration on, like, you know, people's faces who is trying to hold it back. Oh, God. I'm like, I feel bad because I know you're trying your best. I know, but
it's funny because there's so many people that think he's like playing a character. I don't think he is at all. I think it's legit him. Like people go like, there's no way that someone can just ball up, and I don't think you could stream for 12 hours and play that character. Like it would just be too mentally exhausting. Like this has to be him. So,
no, I think that's what makes him great is because he is showing it, but to the fullest extent.
Exactly.
So it looks
just art.
Exaggerated because he's allowing himself to go to that extent, and I couldn't do that. I would restrain myself so it would look worse. You know, like when you restrain your rage, it doesn't look as good. When you go full rage, you know, it could look funny.
It becomes hilarious. Yeah.
It becomes hilarious, right? And then if you're like nice in general, right?
Yeah.
Great.
I started watching him from Midbeast recently because he does quite a lot of like he follows the pros leading up to like obviously the Worlds is on just now.
I like Midbeast.
He's good, but his notifications are absolutely hilarious. I think that's how I first got into him because it's just like Tyler
Really?
1. It's like Tyler 1, basically like someone's clipped Tyler 1 raging about Midbeast on a stream, so it's just Tyler 1 just going, shut the fuck up, Midbeast, you're shite, and just like raging at him. So every time someone subs, he gets abuse from Tyler 1. It's brilliant. So I think folk just sub to hear that. So he must make some money off it. Yeah, it's good, man. What's the most overpowered thing in Valorant right now?
That's a good question. Skyflash.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna pretend I know what that is. I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so basically, it's like a pop flash. So it's like she has her own, like she can set herself up for her own flash because she can pull out her gun now and flash, but at the same time, essentially, kind of in a way. But like she's basically her own peeler.
Okay.
And it's really quick, and if she's quick enough and good. Like there's nothing
counter?
You can do.
Yeah, okay.
There's basically no counter. Like if she's good enough. There are also people who are really bad at it and flash themselves. You know that you're fine. You're chilling. But but quality skill wise, I think Skyflash has to be.
Sounds pretty broken.
It's called Guiding Light.
Guiding Light. That's it. Just give it a really like wholesome name, and it can't be overpowered. It's just yeah. Okay, last question is what's your favorite Halloween costume?
Oh, favorite. This is where I come into issues. Favorite is a hard word for me because I'm a very like I like a lot of things.
Just like everything. Okay.
Well, I would have to say it's definitely somebody like who's committed to the cosplay. Oh, okay. I remember. It was in high school. This guy made his own like homemade Iron Man suit.
Oh, that's really cool.
Full.
Like plastic?
Full Iron Man. No. I don't know what it was made out of. I really don't, but it looked like boxy and like it had like all the elements. Like it looked pretty much the exact same. And he also had the little light right here. Like he had everything. He had a helmet too. And he walked around with it and I was like, wow, like that was a well-made costume. I have to say like that I've seen that one.
What about one you got?
That was the most incredible one I've bought. Probably my Wonder Woman. I like my Wonder Woman.
That's cool. Feel empowered, do you?
Feel empowered. Yep. I just love the actress who does Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, she's good.
Definitely love her style.
Yes, I remember like one of the better ones I had for Halloween. I actually stole my brother's, who was like a full Cookie Monster costume, but it was like one that he'd spent like a ridiculous amount of money on. And he's really into stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'll pinch it for Halloween. But it fully like head is like this size. It takes over you. And then I remember going out and it was just like, it was ace fun, but it was a nightmare because everyone would just come up and like hug you like 24/7. And you're like inside the suit in a club. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so warm. And just like everyone's just hugging me. And I'm like, right, get off me, get away from me. But then the night I was just like pushing people away.
No, that makes sense.
Good.
I've worn like costumes like that, but not for Halloween. It was more for, I think it's like children's fundraiser type
Oh, that's
things
really
where
cool.
it's like they had us wear like outfits. Kind of, I don't remember exactly what I wore. I remember I wore a crocodile suit once. I wore a Mickey Mouse suit. I wore like a owl suit, like just random suits. But like we had to keep switching. I don't know why, but we just kept switching, and I don't know. It was just so hot. And in Hawaii, it's like even hotter,
I
you
was gonna say
know,
that
because
sounds like a
it's
nightmare.
humid. It's humid, and we would go outside, and I'd be like, and the kid would try to stick their hand up your face mask thing, and you're just like, relax, that's my face. Like, you don't know it, but that's me.
I'm not actually a crocodile.
I'm like, yeah, chill, child. You never want to stick your hand up a crocodile's mouth. No,
Nah,
no.
It's a learning opportunity here.
Just nom.
Yeah, teach him a lesson. Okay, Mori, so to finish off, normally what I do is I like to give people listening a little bit back. So if you were to give somebody advice on someone who's just starting streaming or taking up something similar, what would you give them?
Okay. Do what you love, not what's popular necessarily, or apply what you love to what's popular. Because if you don't love what you do, you're going to have a hard time in this industry, because there's a lot of people that love what they do and they show it. Like they definitely show it. Also, have a plan. I know it sounds weird, but have a plan. Like set up goals, right? And set up a schedule for yourself. I'm very poor at scheduling myself. I can schedule anybody else, but myself, no. So set up a schedule for yourself. If you're doing, well, for social media, use social media, because that's where, like, if you're streaming on Twitch, you're not going to just have people find you. You have to promote yourself elsewhere, right? And that's the hardest part, is to getting people there. And then when you get people there, you got to keep people there. You can't just do the same thing every single time. Maybe you can if you're a pro, but even then, some of the pros do other things too, right? So you got to make sure that you're keeping it fresh, you're keeping it new, you're keeping it updated, you're updated on a lot of things. And again, be yourself and have fun, because if you're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? That's brilliant. Well, I don't think I could actually end any better. That's a good place to leave it. Where can people find you? Tell people, how they can find you, where they can find you.
Yeah. So again, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Moriwakes, MORIWAKES. And then everywhere on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I'm trying to think if I'm missing something, but YouTube. I'm Moriwakes. Same thing. Everything is the same.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel out a lot. And it also keeps you up to date with all the new guests too. Cheers. See ya.